I'm live. Yeah. So I'm watching a noir movie. A woman's husband's kidnapped by two gangsters. Anyway, let's see. This is my first time doing a live. I have been meaning to start them. So right now, I'm just trying to get the feel of how everything operates. I've never seen this screen before. I was hoping there was somewhere I could have or do my own live transcription for hearing or someone who just doesn't maybe understand me. Mm, remember to close my mouth. mm, After this is over, I expect to do this live to myself, like with myself and to myself, because I don't think, since no one's expecting a live, I don't think anyone will be here. Hey, a person. Sorry, I just called you out. You don't have to feel obligated to say. Um, so there isn't anywhere I can do any live transcriptions. So like I don't. Anyway, so I'm gonna get started now. Um, I wanted to just come here and figure out how to do live streaming and everything, and the color is better than I thought it was gonna be. So I was gonna play in some makeup. I finally got the Magic by Juvia's. I got the full one. I've been after it like a monster because she discontinued the full palette. She only sells the minis now. And I wanted the full palette because that was the one my sister had. And I like I like the is it an idea or a feeling of having the full palette. So anyway, I got the full palette off of Poshmark. And I wasn't gonna buy used makeup on Poshmark. I don't know how anyone else feels about used makeup, but I didn't want anything used, so I was prepared to have to pay a little more than the store price, but the person that was selling it actually sold it for half of the original price. I was really grateful for that, and it was brand new. So it was untouched. She didn't even swatch it. A lot of people sell things on there that are heavily used or even not that much used and just swatched. So anyway, this is it. If you've never seen the Magic Palette before, the video series that started this whole channel, well, the I should say the video series that this channel was made on the back of, my Sailor Scouts. They were made using my sister's Magic Palette. So I came to really like it. And I really like using this color for eyeliner. And so today I wanted to do something with this. Maybe you create a nostalgic look of my own from my own videos. But then me being me, I got sidetracked. So I ended up wanting to do something else. And then I just wanted to show some new things. So this is one, and this is two that my sister got for me. She surprised me with the Nubian, which is like the original Juvia's Place palette. I'll take the plastic off. As you can see, I've already used it. And I dug my fingernail in there. I got pissed. Anyway, it's just a bunch of obviously browns and stuff. So this is the original, I think, one of the first palettes that she made. And I don't know if I'm gonna get a full collection of Juvia's Place. I feel like I have most of the stuff already, but so what we're going to do here today, again, is put on a face, if I can just get started. First, I'm going to put in some eye drops. I took a nap with my contacts in after I did some work this morning, and because I didn't go to bed last night. Does anybody else, their sleeping pattern get all messed up because of this thing? This is just cysteine. Oh, excuse me, not cysteine, similisan. Hold it in that eye. This is the eye that's messed up the most. And then I'm worried about my contacts. Oh no. Sorry. Kick the table. Oh, doing a live is really a challenge because I'm not used to being live in front of the camera. And so I'm used to kind of just sitting here rambling pretty much to myself. That part's easy, but it's the part where you have to like remember that you're live and you can't just go silent. But I'm very used to sitting quietly in between me. Like all those clips everyone you guys see is when I'm already, obviously it's edited down. So it's just a bunch of silence is edited out because I can sit here completely silent. So these are some new brushes. You know what we'll do? I don't even know what face I'm gonna do. The original idea was to do. Renice came out with a new music video, or a new album, I should say, and with it came a new music video. If you don't know who Renice is, I've had her music on here more than a couple of times, and I did a cover. I did a video cover for her song "Doo Doo." So, excuse me, I have to fold my foot. Um, Sorry. All right, I have to remember to also not get distracted by the TV. Let me. Oh. I was trying to balance out. It's a squishable. Its name is Connor. Okay. Maybe I can fix this how it's leaning. Okay. I don't like how low I am. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we'll start with moisturizing the face with my Ultra Repair Cream. I don't know, like if when I do these lives, because I think I'll do more, but I don't know if I'm gonna like sit here and like talk about each product or something. I mean, unless somebody asks, like, just because. I mean, I guess what else would you be watching somebody do makeup live for if they're not going to tell you about their makeup? I know, but some videos I've seen, they're not live or anything, but they're re-recorded. And I feel like when you're doing live things, live is for communication, otherwise you just record the video, right? Well, right. It's quite a question and answer period with myself. With me and the It's not really by myself, but anyway. So we're gonna use this primer, the Coconut Skin Smoothie Primer, Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. Also, that's another thing. I tend to cut my own thoughts off, so I'm not sure if I even completed what I was saying, but when I'm recording them, I repeat myself and then I can just use that part. I'll only put the primer here. And you put a little, because I think I told in another video before that primer, the coconut by Fab, although it smells nice and it's fun and everything, if you put too much, it like makes this weird opal color on your face, but it's not like opal, it's like a sandy opal. So it gets really strange. So you just put a very thin amount, and then I just put it there where I have most of the pores. Anyway, back to my original thought, which I may or may not have completed. I can't remember. So I'm going to be doing Renice. She came out with a new album. That new album came with a video, and I'm going to be doing the makeup from that. Let me show you. I'm going to pull it up on my phone. Renice. It's very, very good. It's called Commando. Let me type that in so it's easier to find. Oh no, it's right here. Okay. It's called Commando. Here's an ad. I told myself I was only going to do this for 20 minutes, but this is going to take longer than that. Skip, skip, skip. It's very much Makosa sounds that she's doing here. It's probably why I liked it so much. But if you can see from that, I paused it. It was a very heavily blue glitter eye. I don't have that kind of glitter. I don't have that kind of glitter, so. But the new album, that's the song. So first we're going to do, we should do our eyebrows for real. I'm not going to do my eyebrows like hers or whatever. This isn't like cover makeup because, like I said, I don't have the proper glitters. Okay. So my thing with eyebrows is I do more filling and, well, if you're not new to this channel, I do more filling than and shaping than I do actually drawing my eyebrow. Um, I don't have the most eyebrow in the world, but I think I have enough. Oops. Okay, a little shadow there. I mean, too much light, you can't really see. Anyway, so we'll be taking some of that away. Mostly just in here. I feel like it helps me look a little more open when I take the eyebrow from dipping here. I don't know. Maybe it's the natural association with front dipped eyebrows being associated with a Disney villain or something. It makes me feel like front dipped eyebrows make me look nefarious. There's nothing left in here. I'm playing a game. And then with everything closed, you can order stuff online and everything. That's not really the problem. The problem is if your job is hanging on by a thin wire like mine is. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I told myself I wasn't going to stress over things I can't control. I mean, you can't help but be worried and think about it, but I'll go ahead and throw this away. Ain't nothing left. I mean, there's a little bit of something left, as you can see. It took away the bottom, but I'm not gonna throw it away. And then we'll go in and we'll do our eyebrow. So now one could do this eyebrow with black. I'm not going to. I'm gonna take this cute little brown back here and fill in these brows because it's perfectly fine. Basically just the end though. I have a skinnier thing for this. Ho ho ho. Found it. Oh, looks like I'm making her eyebrows instead. Looks like I'm gonna be doing her eyebrows anyway. Sorry that it got quiet just now. You know, when you do your eyebrows, you have to concentrate just a little bit. But also, if you start stressing about your eyebrows, that's when they come out the worst. Every time you kind of do the eyebrow, just kind of, that's when it comes out best. So you don't stress about it. Don't overthink it. Don't make it like everyone's like, eyebrows are so important. They frame the face. And that is true. They do frame the face and they are quite important. They're a statement piece of your face if you have them. So it's kind of just like if you kind of lived your whole life with no eyebrows, don't stress too much about when you're drawing on your eyebrows. Like get creative with it. Get free about it. Make your eyebrows the shape you always wanted. You don't have to do that standard arch thing. Just make them round one day, squiggle them the next, make them blue. I especially enjoy coloring eyebrows, and I should have done that, but you know, now we're doing this thing, so I can't switch gears now. That's a recipe for disaster. I'll get so distracted and I'll end up not finishing anything. Right. See how different they are? Woo! They just look a little, they're just tidied up. Isn't that different from what you saw before? I wish I could do before and after. I'm laughing because it's like, why? Anyway, so now, are you an eyes first or face first kind of person? I don't know what I am yet. I don't think I've decided, but today we're going to do eyes first. So, in order to get a semi-blue eye look from her, we're going to use Masquerade, which is again the full size. I don't know what it is about the full size palettes. And I know they're big and they take up space, but they don't take up that much space for me and the way I stack everything. I stack them all this way in my drawer. So as I put things in chronological order, it's not so bad. But I honestly, I think I just like the size of it, you know? That's really all I can say. I just like the size of it. If you don't, she sells a mini for this one too. And I also, that was another thing. I got the full size of this one because I had to hurry up and get it because I was afraid she'd discontinue it like she did with the magic and I wouldn't be able to find it. And I like the big size palettes. I enjoy them. I enjoy big size palettes. I'm gonna use this thumb brush to put this brown. Which brown? There's two browns I like actually. This one and this one. These are good for blush. This one has a little bit of sparkle in it, but not too much. Oh, the coloring is really not that bad on YouTube Live. That's crazy to me. Like I really thought it was gonna be very like It would probably even be better if I had better lighting in my room. Maybe I'll work on that, maybe I won't. But so yeah, there's another one. So it has a bit of shimmer. So I guess you could use it as a blush, but one of those shimmer blushes that you only put at the top of your face or, you know, wherever you want. Da-da-dee-dee. Okay. So I'm going to use Burkina because it's more, I don't know. Yeah, I'll just use Burkina because here we are. I was looking at it. I was looking at Burkina. I might as well use it and just start staring at somebody for no reason, right? So we're just going to put that here, especially right up in there, and then set under the eyebrow. Maybe I should tell a story. That's a thing. When Instagram first had video, like when they first had video, I've had like 3 different accounts and I delete them, but this one I've kept for the longest time, so the videos aren't there. But um, on my old account, I did a video, and the most fun to me was making the short video clips. It was before it was like IGTV. You could only put 30 seconds or a minute or something at a time or something like that. So anyway, that's not the interesting story. The point is I did stories on there randomly, like about like old relationship stories and stuff like that. And it was fun. Mm. So maybe I'll tell a story. I'm laughing because I planned this. I planned doing this live. I planned what I was going to do on the live. I planned roughly what I was going to talk about. And then I got on here and forgot all of it except for what I wanted to do. And this wasn't the original plan. This was an idea that I had before I solidified the original plan of what I was going to do. But here we are. That is the essence of life. You start out doing one thing. There was an old phrase. I think it's part of a song. It was back in my old fan fiction, not fan fiction. It was just like fiction loving days. I used to get on Fiction Press and read for hours. And so this one girl, her story was called The Winds of Change. And it got published into a book, which I never found. That was devastating for me because I just love that story. But anyway, the phrase was like it was from a song, I think, and I was looking for the song. I couldn't find that either. Anyway, the phrase is, "You got your life planned perfectly, but you left out one detail. A hidden hand deals just one round, and the winds of change prevail." And for some reason, that phrase has never left my brain. When I was younger, in my bedroom, I had on the wall um, little phrases posted up and stuff, and that one was right next to my bed. Anyway, I thought it was really true to life, and over and over again, it has not become, but it has revealed itself as the truth. And I'm talking about a story I read in the early days of the internet. It wasn't that early. It was 2003. 2003, 2002 or so. I want to say between the years of 2002 and 2003, 'cause I was in high school when we finally, um, no, when we got internet before that. We got internet when I was in middle school, but I mean, it was still DSL, so you had to like, modem dial up kind of situation, and no one could get on the phone. So then my parents got 2 phone lines through AT&T. And that was a thing because one phone line was for the internet. Like after a while, they were like, we can't do this. People can't get on the internet, and I got to get on the phone. So they got 2 phone lines. And so one phone line, the second phone line was for the fax and internet and stuff. And then that was also the time where cable, you had to flip the little switch. So it's the A side and the B side. If you're in the States, I don't know if other countries are like that, but if you're in the States, that was a thing. Okay. So let's tell a story now that I've told 3 other ones. What story should I say? What story should I talk about? I didn't even ask if I can be heard. Well, me and my silent friend here. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if I can't look this up myself and then figure out if I can be heard. Ha ha ha. There I am, live. Oh, okay. So I'm coming in loud and clear. That's good. That's good to know. It's really delayed. So I should also keep that in mind that it's a little delayed. Anyway, so okay. I have got to turn this down. I'm gonna use that like a monitoring screen. Anyway, wow, this is it's already 26 minutes and I've only put a base on my eye. When I was thinking when I planned this, I was like, oh, it'll be done in 30 minutes. And I don't know why, because I do a lot of like basically bullshitting when I'm sitting here by myself. So I thought that if I just get down to business, since I will be recording live and people don't want to just sit there like like I said earlier, watching me zone off into nothing. Because I like completely just zone out and it'll just be silent when I'm here by myself. So, all right, I'm gonna use one of these brushes, but it's already taking me longer than I thought, which is fine. With lives, I think the best part about lives is when they're a little long and kind of windy because it feels like actual company. Who knows? Who knows how long this will go? Why am I laughing again, you ask? Because I was thinking about how long this could possibly take. It might end shorter than I think. I kind of want to do two different looks here. I want to use well, maybe I won't show you yet. Oh, you can kind of see. I already showed the box a little. Anyway, so what we're going to do to try to get the look that Renice had in that video, I know it's not going to be as sparkly. That was like bona fide glitter. And I feel like I've seen a company that has like little tiny glitter palettes, but my sister has a Pat McGrath palette that I think could substitute. But still, those glitter chunks aren't even rough enough. Like thick, thick, coarse, chunky. They're not chunky enough glitters. I'll just say. Anyway, I really like that brown. You see how even that makes my eyelid? Hmm. Bang. All right. Oh Lord, the lady's screaming. Okay, we're gonna use Dahlia because that's that's the color she had on her lid. And it's a standard shimmer. I feel like I should put it on with my hands for real. I like putting shimmer on with my fingers. I get the best. Oh, I went a little too high. Oh no. And you know the thing with blue is with blue and with hot pink. It will stain your eye off, but Jesus. There's another reason why when you're putting on glitters and eyes and stuff, there's another reason why you shouldn't. do any face stuff before you do it, because if it has fallout, like this one has some fallout, especially because I'm picking up a lot of excess color so that I can really get it on there. Boom! Um, you get fallout all over your face. And then if you've already put on your foundation and blah, 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 it can ruin it. It can ruin it depending on what color you're using. Ice cream man's outside making all kinds of noise. She had it like way up there in the crease and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Mm. Bing. Let me see that. I'm monitoring it on my little monitor. Anyway, maybe that's something I'll talk about real quick before I get into a story. Or maybe I won't tell a story today. Again, my plans are all foiled. And you see that? Now you have a blue highlight because it's smudged. Anyway, that's the thing I did want to talk about. I was going to make that into a video, my tea time talks. The videos I set out for Tuesday at 4. Because apparently 4 is the national time for tea. Anyway, I was going to talk about... Oh no, the worst thing just happened. I completely forgot what I was about to tell you. Oh, jeez. Oh man, it's like I got a brain like a goldfish. I don't remember what I was going to tell you. Oh no, that's a terrible thing. Well, anyway, we have to just leave it in the past. Let's not dwell on the things we can't help. Maybe it'll come back. Da, 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 da. Oh, right. I remember now. Yay! Fast recovery. I was going to talk about me and my makeup and how I do my makeup not necessarily for camera. So if you see me checking it on camera, it's more just to get like a farther away view of it than my mirror will provide. Okay, so my mirror is pretty close to my face. So if I want like a farther view, right now I can look to the side. There's a mirror over there. But normally when I'm filming, I'm either in front of the bathroom mirror or something like that. And so I check it in there. I check it in that. But lately I've been filming in the kitchen and there's no mirror there because our kitchen doesn't have one. There are people moving about. So anyway, somebody's coming. Yeah, I'm doing a live. What is it? Yeah, I was trying to kidnap your cow. I was gonna say, girl, look at this. So what happened was I was looking for like pens and paper. You were going to try to kidnap my cow. So I went, so then I went back upstairs. And I came back down. It was only for like 5 minutes. Then I came back and I was like, well, I foiled your plans. You cow kidnapper. No, you're fine. So, well, yeah, I do my makeup for real life. So I'm checking it in the camera, not for how it looks on camera. I think a lot of people may worry like, oh, you can barely see that and all this stuff. But I don't know. I feel like the main point here is how it looks in real life because, that's where you live. And so, not that internet isn't real. I don't believe when people are like, internet's fake, everything's fake. People just show only people show curated things on the internet. They curate their lives on the internet because otherwise, a lot of people look at the people that do curate their lives on the internet and make the lifestyle look a certain way. They get a lot more following, they get a lot more opportunities, they get a lot more attention, I guess. And so, if that's something that you want, you'll think, oh, well, I guess this is how people want stuff to look because people keep following it. It's not like people are making this up and nobody wants it. Like, there's a reason why it works for people because people obviously want to see that kind of thing. So you can't fault people for curating their lives on the internet or simply just not showing you certain stuff or only showing you a certain type of thing because that's what they want to share. That being said, when it comes to makeup and stuff, a lot of people do their makeup a certain way because that's the makeup that people want to see on the internet and they're going for something else. I am going for not so much, I mean, I would like if people wanted to see what I was doing. That's fine, but I'm not going for so much, doing my makeup in a way that pleases what people think my makeup should look like. I'm really doing my makeup to please the ideas I have in my head. And as self-centered as that is, I feel like that's the only way to keep your sanity on the internet. You should do things for yourself first. Otherwise, you'll be chasing like likes and you'll be chasing all of that pretty much superficial attention and you'll end up kind of lost because you'll you'll forget why you started something unless you did start something for the attention, then you're right on track. So it's not something that people should tear people who want that attention down for because they are just, they living their life. Like, just if you don't like them, they don't want the attention, don't watch them. I don't watch a lot of people that people may really swear by, and I'm not going to name any names because that's irrelevant. So, but the point is that it's something that people choose to do for the cameras and they do their makeup a certain way for the cameras and so that it looks the best on camera so that they can appease and appeal to their audience. I'm not trying to do any of that. So when you see me doing makeup and checking the camera, it's really for a far away look. It's not for me trying to figure out if it's going to look the best on camera. If it doesn't, I don't really care what it looks like on camera as long as my point gets across because, you know, that's the point. It's like telling a story and there was no moral or whatever. It's like what's the point? So I share these looks because I wanted to look a certain way. But even if you think, oh, the color was weak and this, that, and the third, it wasn't really the color, it was most likely my application because 'cause I'm not very heavy-handed. Like, right now, this is pretty strong, not for me, like, "Oh, I can't believe I have this color on." I'm not afraid of colors and all of that stuff. I do enjoy lots of color on my face, but, like, my application and everything like that varies by the feeling that I want. So right now, I wanna figure out how to make it as sparkly as possible. And it may not translate as sparkly as it does in real life on the camera. And that's okay with me. You understand? I'm not going to put on sparkle just so that it shows up how it's showing up in real life on the camera because then it's not the way I want it to look in real life. Did you get what this long and winding story was for? If you didn't, I'm sorry. I just wasted a lot of your time. What what would be perfect is if I had Stilla. That sparkle is perfect. I feel like for anyone who likes glitter and stuff, that Stilla is the one. I have a Stilla, but it's kind of red, and I'm afraid it'll ruin what's going on here. Like the blue. Let me check the mirror. I like that. Yeah. I like the shape that I put on my eye. Oh, this one's a little wonky. Wonky. And I don't know if I should take it all the way to the corner or what. Like hers literally looked like it was like a half crescent moon right over her eye. But again, me and her have different eye shapes, so I have to translate that. It was like right. And I don't even think it even went on the whole inner corner. I should have took a screenshot like I usually do, but again, that this wasn't really the video that I planned to do. Um, we're gonna leave it like that. We're just gonna have this blue right on the eye. Simple. Simple. You know, I love just making my point. I'm not really a stickler. Like, and that's another thing about makeup. I feel like you should just you grasp an idea or a point or a concept and just do that. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about what it may or may not look like. Just think about your point and then go with it until the end. There was a thing I want to try also. Is like highlighting right here only. So we'll get to that. Look how blue my under eye is. This is what I was talking about. The fallout. Um, and I made a mistake of putting primer on first. It's gonna get wiped off a little. It's okay. Look at it. It's gonna stain my brush. I just know it. That's okay too. A good wash and it'll be fine. So I really want to do something else to the eye though. Let's just kind of want to do something on the bottom line maybe. She didn't have anything on her bottom line. I really wish I could just make it more sparkly than it is. If I dab just the tiniest bit of that Stilla, maybe that'll be okay. My stomach's growling. I'm hungry. I have to get up and get the Stilla. It's not that I don't want to get up. It's just that, I'm afraid. Hmm. Girl, all this wrestling. Okay. So here's the thing. Ugh. Oh, let me talk to you guys real quick about this thing. So I really like this tiny little baby palette that I got. And it's by a company Peach Sea. And I had already spent the money. And then I randomly read an article talking about how the owner of it was a bully. That made me sad because this wasn't like a cheap palette. Okay. It was like $18, $20 or something like that when you convert it. Anyway, they were talking about how she's a bully or allegedly a bully. I, it was really disappointing to me because one, I'm still gonna use it, but now I can never buy anything from this again. And honestly, that's why I didn't like say the name and stuff when I was doing my pouch thing because I'm not gonna like promote it, even though I just did. It was really just to tell you about how the owner is allegedly a bully and then they apologized and disappeared from the internet. And I don't know if this apology is because, you know, people are truly sorry or because you're embarrassed. And maybe getting called out at this stage in life is what someone needs to change their life around. Um, I can only hope that's the case for the sake of the employees because, you know, that must be hard, like being an employee or the person that was bullied by them in school to see them online being so nice and maybe never even having apologized to them. But that's the thing. Me and my sister were literally talking about this last night. Like bullies, we were recounting times that we'd been like what people would call bullied in school. I'm not gonna say what people would call bullying in school. I just have a hard time saying I was bullied because it wasn't, to me, consistent enough. And I know maybe that sounds like I'm making excuses for the people who like made life hell. But regardless of that, throw it all away. The point is, those people don't remember what they did to you. You are the only person that seems to remember all the terror they put you through. Like, you can recount it like it was yesterday for the most part. Some people, they can't recount every detail because I think for them it was more severe. Like mine, I don't think it was that severe. It was just something that really, it shapes how you move and how you think of yourself and how you act. So, and for some people it's even worse, like it gets more physical. Mine only got physical a couple times, but it was mostly like verbal 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 abuse and like how they would talk and move around and like antagonize. And some people get like physically abused, and apparently this person who owns this company was one of the people that like physically abused people in high school and then physically abused their employees. And so I was like, hopefully this is the catalyst. Hopefully this is the catalyst of change that that person needed. But I'm not going to like promote. I'm not going to throw away what I bought before I knew. Because $18 ain't no little bit of money, but I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, and I'm using this. I just use it and I don't even put it down in the description. I only put it in that one description in case somebody was looking for the palette. So you can make your own decisions. I'm not here to tell people what to do. Um, but yeah. Uh, Let me get my Stilla. Excuse me. Okay, back. I also brought this. It's blue mascara. Here's the Stilla thing. Here's regular mascara. Here's the Stilla thing. It's Enchantress. There's one called Kitten, which is the one that I really wanted to use. But so let's see. We're just gonna put a dab. Bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. And we're gonna use this with the blue on it to move it around. All right, obviously I'm gonna need a little more, but I don't want it to like turn purple or something. This weird pink color. If I put too much. Oh, it's too late. There's no going back now. And here we are. My stomach is out of control, man. Oh, this is working out a little. It's clearly not as, like hers was bona fide chunks. If you watch the video, you'll see what I mean. And maybe in the future, I'll think about getting a soft press like glitter palette to do stuff like that. I just thought it was so pretty. That's as glittery as it's gonna be. And this is an instance of what I was talking about earlier. So on the camera, it kind of just looks like a sheen, right? It's obviously more, looks lighter and everything, just because of the way the light's hitting it, or the camera's hitting it. But when I'm looking at it in real life, it's got a good amount of sparkle. Like if you were to try this at home, you would see what I mean. And that's more important, what it's going to look like to you in real life than it does on the camera, even though this is where you're getting your information from. Anyway, the sparkle is really nice. So we'll do the same thing on the other eye. Yay! Bang, bang. On the door, baby. Okay, and we'll just move that around. Oh, all right. The strength of something is often the downfall of something as well. It's like someone told me a long time ago, the thing that you love about someone is often the thing that will get on your damn nerves. Says everything's double-sided. All right, this eye needs a little more. Just gonna put a tiny bit more. Just a tiny bit. I guess because still is so like chunkily glittery, or maybe because I'm using this blue right here. Well, the blue left over on this thing. It's working out, but I could only imagine how it would work out. And my thing about glitter eyeshadow is this, I think liquid glitter is the way I like. This is probably my preferred thing. With pot glitters, I don't know because a long time ago, when I first started doing makeup, I was doing eyeliner outside of a pencil and I used the MAC gel, and I thought my eyeball it set my eyeballs on fire. So I don't think I have yet to try a gel liner. And so sometimes when I get pieces of glitter in my eye, it reminds me of that feeling. And that's what stops me from getting big, like chunky glitter pots. And I know they're talking about how it's not safe to use near the eye. But my thing, I'm just like, well, if you use a little bit, it should be fine, right? But then again, that's a choice you have to make for yourself. I'm not here to tell you either which way. So now we've made it nice and sparkly. I really wish I had those big, big glitter chunks that she had, though. Like, that's the time. What do you use to keep them on your lid, though? Hair glue? I honestly don't know what people use. Like, I know they have like those glitter pots where they give you something that you put on your eye for that, but I also don't remember if she had anything on her waterline, and I feel like I should have made mine do something. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put something on the bottom line. Oh my god, I've been doing this for almost an hour, and I've gotten literally nowhere. Okay, so I have this, and I like to set it with something because it's foolish. It's a foolish eyeliner. It's Nika K, and I really like Nika K, but I have yet to find a white pencil that doesn't smudge or dissipate on the waterline. This Ruby Kisses, this is a liquid white. That'll set your eyeballs on fire too. So I'm not gonna play with that. I'm gonna just use this and then like use one of these very light like cream things. Oh, there's a light cream. I have a couple palettes down here. Palettes. That one has too much glitter, I think. First of all, I can close my masquerade now. Let's open the magic. Okay, I'll use Kessie to set the waterline, and then I'll go in and line the bottom with some brown. First of all, we're going to take some of this off. It's dirty as hell. Oops. That was another thing I need to do. So we're just going to take this and go on the waterline. I've been trying not to pull my eye when I'm doing this, but it's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say it's impossible. It's just uh takes more time. You're supposed to just press and let it pop up like boop, boop. But one hand's holding a mirror, so it ends up feeling like I'm pulling it anyway. But I really need to stop that. You can see what I'm doing, right? Mhm. But you see what I mean? So this one, honestly, I think sometimes they just make the white ones a little too waxy. I don't know. Like it's very smooth. The point is that it's smooth, and that's the part I like about it the most. But you see how white it can be just on the skin. Then you get it on the waterline, and it's all muddy. It's so muddy. This man on TV just yelled at his wife and said, "Can you please stop being a woman?" Because she was showing concern. I don't know if that was his wife or his daughter. Okay. I'm going to take it all the way to the inner corner. Anyway, what should I talk about? Maybe I should stay on the topic of doing makeup to please others, like I was talking about earlier with the whole camera thing. As you should know by now how I feel about that if you were here for the rant, which seems that you were. So you see how I feel about that. But on that topic, continuing on that topic, doing makeup for others, I could just throw a little anecdote in here. So once upon a time, I was seeing someone who told me they didn't like lipstick. What happened to the brush that I want to use? What in the blue devil? Um, what? What am I supposed to do with this? Will this do? This will do. So anyway, they told me that they didn't like lipstick. And so every day I would do my makeup and put lipstick on because I like lipstick. Okay. At the time, I was really into wearing very, very strong colored lip. And to me, I'm saying they were strong, but they weren't even strong to me. They were just colored lips. But people were saying that it was a strong color. That's why I'm saying that so you can get a picture of it. So it'd be things like Max Candy Yum Yum and Cyber by Mac. I just lived for Mac lipsticks. I feel like when you first get into lipsticks here in the States, like most of like, us, we go to Mac. Mac is one of your first like makeups out of the drugstore, dollar store arena, because that's where I used to get most of my lipstick. There weren't a lot of color varieties then, the way there were, and only the model dancer Keisha Kaur. She's married to Gucci Mane now. But I had followed her and she made a whole line, but her lipsticks were like $13. And at the time I was like, oh no, I can't afford that. So a lot of my things came from like the beauty supply store, the dollar store, and the drugstore, which is where I still get a lot of things. I don't get things at the dollar store anymore simply because I haven't really seen anything that I liked. Not because I won't, but besides the point. So I was wearing a lot of MAC lipsticks with the colors because they had a lot of colors, and that was not something you could find easily enough then. So I was getting stuff, and then I was like orange, right? And what was it? Morange or something like that. It was a bunch of stuff. There was Please Me, it was like a baby pink. I still like that color. Anyway, um, those are the kind of colors I was wearing. So anyway, he told me he didn't like makeup. And so every day I'd do my makeup, like if I was gonna go see him or just in general, I was in the habit of doing my makeup pretty much every day. And excuse me. I don't know why I get so I'm setting it right and it's like getting weird though. Anyway, so I would do my makeup and then this isn't the right brush for this. I would do my makeup and on the way right before I stopped to see him because I had friends in that same city. So I would hang out with them sometimes. Or if I was going straight to this was the part that made no sense. Now that I look back, I would put on the lipstick, knowing that this person said, "Oh, I don't like lipstick." I would put on the lipstick anyway because I wasn't gonna not wear it. But before I would pull up to where he was, I would wipe it off. And honestly, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So one day, I guess I felt like it was ridiculous. And I pulled up and I was wearing the cyber lipstick, which is like a very, very like cool toned purple. It's like grape juice kind of purple. And I was wearing it on my mouth or whatever. And the crazy part about it was that I had a friend that I was hanging out with, and she also really, really enjoyed the cyber because cyber is just it's a bomb color. So she also enjoyed the cyber, and so she would put it on, and then like they would be talking with each other, and then he would like be flirting with her and telling her that it looked so good on her and everything. But then he would turn to then he would turn to me and tell me how much he didn't like when his girls were wearing lipstick, and that is what made me be like, what, like witnessing that transaction is what the light bulb in my head went off. Like, I'm not gonna not wear lipstick for you to go around, like, so it's okay for you to flirt aggressively with my friend who's wearing the exact same color lipstick I have on, but then you turn to me and tell me how you wish I hadn't put that on today. What? So I learned lessons. I learned lessons not the I guess they're the hard way, but it doesn't take me long once the hard way shows up. Like I see the hard way coming down the road and I'm like, "Oh, bet. I don't want none of that." So I don't get in the car. You know what I mean? Like that's what happened that day. So all this drama was me waiting, right? And then I saw him acting a fool and then saying that again to my face and I was like, "Bet." Now, the hard way about it was for him really because after that I wore brighter, stronger colors. I started wearing every color I could find and I stopped wiping it off before I went to see him. And he had to just get the fuck over it. So it was like passive aggressive, but also completely necessary for me to assert myself because no one should be telling you that something like I don't like people I'm dating wearing lipstick. That's not a real thing. It's not like I don't like the people I'm dating smoking cigarettes because secondhand smoke can kill you. Nobody's ever died of secondhand lipstick. All right. Nobody's nobody's passing out over secondhand beauty. It's not a thing. So that's what makes it when someone's trying to regulate your appearance, that's when it becomes, I feel like, what you would call like microaggressive dating abuse. Because it's little things, little. The same person would also try to act like I wasn't allowed to go out and party. And it starts from something as little as I don't like you wearing lipstick. I don't like when you put on a full face. I don't want you looking all good for other people. I don't want you wearing that. No, this is how it grows. And I don't want you wearing that because, um, well, whatever, you can't wear that without me around. It's the same thing as I don't like you wearing dark lipstick, or you can't wear those kind of clothes without me around, or I don't like you going to those places without me. And then it turns into I don't like you going to those places, period, because I don't want to go, so you can't go either. Those kinds of things, I feel like when someone starts restricting your behavior like that, it starts micro, grows into the macro, obviously. And so if someone's telling you something stupid like they told me, talking about they don't like when their girls wear lipstick, I was like, well, this one's gonna wear it. And honestly, that relationship has been over for a very long time now, but that was honestly just the beginning for real. They never got like physically crazy, but there was a lot of manipulation. And it's something as little as I don't like you wearing lipstick. So don't ever feel like you're overthinking something. Often when people say you're overthinking, it's because you're onto their tracks. No, it sounded crazy, but it's not. It's real. Like people are always talking about how, you think it too much. You're overthinking this. Stop thinking so much. And, there's certain things you shouldn't think too much about. Like what people think of you or what people might say behind your back or stuff like that. Those are things you shouldn't think too much about simply because there's nothing you can do. People are allowed to say and think however they want and you can't stop them. But you can definitely control who you let tell you how to live your life and how to wear your face. Bum ba da bum. PSA over. I'm gonna put this on there. Oh no, it's not sharpened. Oh gee whiz. I have a sharpener. Nobody panic. Anyway, yeah, so the moral of the story is kids, don't do things to please people because people who don't want to accept you as you are not people you're gonna ever please. There's always gonna be something else you're doing wrong or something else they wish you were doing or weren't doing or whatever. There's always something else. So you have to just live for you. You have to do something as simple as what you put on your face. You have to do it for you. It can't be for anyone else. I'm just gonna put this here. Now, if you're doing it's like doing something and sharing it with people is different from doing it and then doing it for approval. Everyone likes to be acknowledged for what they've done. That's different from seeking approval. How? Well, one of them is waiting for validation about what they've done. They're only sharing to get a sense of self. Another person is sharing because they want to share. They're having a moment and they want other people to be part of it. I like to think I'm in that latter portion of people who just like to share things that they're doing. And it didn't happen overnight, obviously. It comes from years of, I think, honestly, it's something that was always in me, for real. Um, I think I was fortunate enough to have a personality that makes it really difficult for me to, it makes it really difficult for me to seek approval from other people after I've been hurt by them or just in general, like people I don't know, the trick is when it's people I do know. That is when the lines get blurred because they're people I do know in real life and care about. And, that's how you get into situations where it's less than I don't know the word, but it's less than desirable to say the least, for lack of a better word. Um, it's less than desirable. You just want them to be happy with your decisions and what you're doing. But for me, that's never been something I've left up for debate with people I don't know or even people I know but don't like. So, but a lot of people don't have that gauge. It's kind of just in general because maybe they don't have I would honestly say it's attributed to my family. They don't have a family unit that makes them feel secure enough as someone part of something. And a lot of people just want to be a part of something. And so for me, my my sense of community comes from my family, and so any additional community that I have is just a plus. It's not the definitive. And but a lot of people come from homes where that sense of community isn't there. And so naturally they'll look outside to other human beings, not realizing that other human beings are mean and judgmental, and they only think of things through their own lens. And that's not everybody, but that seems to be what people encounter a lot on the internet. And I wish it wouldn't be that way. I don't know how else to explain that, but I wish it wasn't that way because a lot of people just want to find a sense of community and they go through these lengths to get this attention because they just want to feel seen and heard. Anyway, everyone should just mind their damn business on the internet. Like, just stop talking to people crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stop. Just stop everything. Stop. So I'm gonna take this finally, and I'm gonna do the wing liner. Um, jeez, this is the hardest part. I'm gonna talk through it, but her line was a little thicker though, so I shouldn't be afraid of that. And this is the part where sometimes it smudges onto the white. And that makes me mad. So hers was really like desert fox feline kind of eye. So I'm gonna do that. That means I have to start it here. Uh, so that helps. If you just pull your line this way, you'll know where not to draw. And then open your like when you're going like that, honestly, if you're like me, if you have eye like mine, it's kind of poof. If you're going like that, it's gonna look different from when your eye is at rest. So you always honestly, you should draw the line when your eye is not like this, but at rest, because then you get where it actually is. So as you see, I drew it when it was like that, and I went that way thinking it was up, but it's not. It's only right there. But now we have to deal with it. So I really enjoy the cake lollipop liner. I really do. It's made drawing things quite easy. Ba-bum. So I'm gonna just bring some down here at the corner of my eye and go up. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, there. It's not as upward as I wanted it to be, but that's the way it has to be now. And now we have to somehow manage to do that to the other side. I kind of want it thicker here. I kind of want a thicker line. I kind of want a thicker line. I'm afraid I'll ruin it, but who cares? I have to go with what I have in my head. Otherwise, I won't sleep at night. Okay, that's better. That's much better. I'm glad I made that thicker. Yeah. Now let's see if we can do the same thing over here. There I go again, doing it the wrong way. That's okay. Oh, the whole thing about doing when you're not left-handed, doing your left eye, if you're like me, you start feeling like a contortionist the way you have to twist your arm around. Okay, and we're gonna make it thick like the other side. Also, doing these things, okay, and that's how they end up two different eye lines. This one's a little better. Oh, something to be done with that now, but it's thick like I want it. Okay. Well, yeah, this liner is to me it's exceptional. Okay. Woo. This one, this one's a little straighter. Ended up a little straighter than this one. There. Try to straighten that one out, but I'm gonna start making weird noises. Okay. So we're done with that. That's the end of that. Now we'll put on mascara and the eyes will be finished. This is almost finished, just like everything else. I ran out of mascara the fastest. I've mentioned that in a very old video, but I think it's just because of the rate that I use mascara. Mascara and eyeliner are my daily friends. Just honestly, sometimes for fun, I'll just put on eye stuff and eyeshadow. I don't know. Maybe because I don't use as much. Like I use it as frequently, but because I like to move around within my palettes, it's not like it's getting used every day. There's certain things that maybe I'll fall into, but there's what, 8, 9, 16 shades in a pan. So this one's got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. So stuff like that. You're not gonna get through all of them as fast as you would, say, mascara, even if you have, like me, 4. So I have this one. I have this in brown. That's 2. I have, oh no, I have this new thing. I really like this. This Great Lash. It's not bad. When I first used it, I was kind of pissed. It's like a dark brown. I was like, what? What did I buy? But I found its charm. I found how to make that mascara the way it should be. I found how to show that it's a star, to bring out its best potential, its full potential, I should say. Anyway, but oh no, I got some on my eye. But so I have that. I have this in brown. That's 2, 3. I have the Great Lash by Maybelline. I have a lot of Maybelline mascara. I really like the way they do mascara. I have Pat McGrath, obviously my favorite, and then I have Push, another favorite, and then somebody I've been dying to try is Black Radiance, their mascara. I love their eyeliner, so with the mascara, I was hoping, and I've been meaning to get it, but I always end up in the Black Radiance section getting something else. I go there to get mascara and leave with other things every single time. And since I haven't shopped for any new makeup in like maybe 2 months, well, it's been since March, if you don't count this, because I didn't really shop for this. I had it saved since, I want to say, December, and thankfully it didn't get sold. So I was like, if it's still there, by gum. And it was. Anyway, so I have that. I have the Milk Kush. So what is that? Two Total Temptations, a Great Lash, Milk, Pamagraph, oh, Wet and Wild. So I have 6 mascaras. Oh, and Physicians Formula, the Argan Wear one. I have 6 mascaras. I really, they're all pretty much empty. The newest one, well, the newest replacement. It's not new to my life. It's just the one that I bought the last time I bought makeup was the Mega Protein Wet and Wild. So that's the most full one here. Everyone else is on thin ice. And it's not like that's the first tube either. Because I like rotate the same mascaras and every once in a while I get a new one. This is the newest tryout. I tried the CoverGirl um last CoverGirl Last Sensational. So I have 7. That one's very good, but that's not the one I was talking about. This one was supposed to be like something tropic, something CoverGirl tropic, some foolishness like that. I didn't like it at all. So now we're gonna put that away, and then we're gonna go over the top actually with the Great Lash. Just the top, like the back of it. We're gonna bring it down and the ends. Oh no, there you go, getting quiet again. Sorry, I was trying to concentrate. Okay. So now I'm going to comb them out. Oh no. What the heck? Ah, come on, let's go. Frank Sinatra's on TV. Speaking of bullies, I heard he was every single thing I've ever watched on that man talks about how much of a bully he is or was, I guess, because he's passed. I don't think past, honestly. Past makes it seem like it's just past tense or something. Like the man is dead. Past makes it like he's over. And it's not necessarily that I care about him, but it's like when we use it regarding other people, like past, like you're like it's over, like you're over it, like their time is over. And when you lived or loved someone, their time with you is never over. As sad as it is, your moment together is over, but the time, it always stays in your memory. So you say past because it's, I guess, the more polite way to say things. And so I'll continue to use it, but I personally don't like it. Okay, I cannot find the thing that I use to separate my lashes, and that's a problem. Whatever. I can use this thing that I use to separate my eyebrows for real. All right, all right. Okay. I only need to do a little bit anyway. Ugh. Okay, so now that the eyes are done, hmm, I really like them. I really like that. It's simple, but it's nice. Especially like putting that brown on the bottom to seal in the white. So when you're standing in front of someone in person, it kind of, I don't know, it just gives it an extra whoosh, you know? I'm actually probably going to end up adding a little more after I finally do my face. So let's do some concealer. Have a little poof poof here. Move this lipstick. We'll do concealer, finally put on some foundation and some lipstick, and I can set you free. So this is what L'Oreal True Match. My sister found this, so I got it for myself. She had one, and I was like, "Ooh, sold!" Like she'll often try new things, and then I'm like, "What's that?" And it causes me to look at it. It's just got a little sponge on the end, and it's like, oh no, look, a pimple. There's nothing to be done about that now. Um, it's very orange. This is dark C78. And it's very orange, but that's okay with me because then it kind of acts like a color corrector. So just put it down here. Yeah. Woohoo. Sponge it up. Sponge it up. Goodbye. And actually, I have a spray. What? As prepared as I thought I was. There's just a lot of things not going the way that I had prepared. Anyway, well, I had a spray. It's probably around here somewhere. Watch, the minute I turn this off, it's gonna be like, surprise, here I am. We were playing hide and seek, right? Anyway, so I just use the sponge to go and carry it up under the eye. Bum. And you just blend it in there. And honestly, it looks fine. That's why I like using this color as well, because once you blend it in there, it actually just it looks really nice alone. So sometimes if I don't want to wear foundation, I just use some concealer under the eye, or I use foundation under the eye. So like this summer, I was using Estee Lauder's Double Wear under the eye just because Estee Lauder really doesn't move without feeling stuffy. I really like that about them. So anyway, so now the other eye is finished. You see that? Like there's a giant difference. Ta-da! I really like it. So that's again L'Oreal True Match. I really like that. It says it hydrates. I don't know about all that, but it definitely doesn't dry my skin out. But it takes a lot to dry my skin out, honestly, because it's not as oily as it used to be, but it's definitely not something that gets dried out easily. So honestly, I don't even feel like wearing foundation. So we might just stay there with the concealer. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with just doing concealer. Mm. All right. So, all right, we'll skip to lip. I was gonna use these. They're my Black Radiance. This one's Cocoa Bean, and this one is who's this? Clove. Yes, Clove. So I love them. Like they're fine alone, but when I mix them together, I like the color that it gives me because this one is a little. I think it's a little warmer than this one. This one's more neutral. It seemed that's not the description that's online. I don't think, but This one just seems more neutral. Also, I don't have as much as I used to, but this is together. I like the color balance that it gives. So I was gonna do those like on different spots. So like the neutral part was gonna go more on my forehead, down on my chin, and then on the um, cheeks, and then this was gonna mix with the cocoa bean clove. It's gonna mix on the cheek because of the coloring and stuff. And I think the cocoa bean coloring is good for the parameters and stuff with my face, just to give a little color balance. So I like mixing lately. I've been experimenting with mixing different colors. Not different colors, you know what I mean, but like um undertones, mixing undertones position wise on my face. So for lip, we'll just go with our standard pink lip, or we can do a brown lip. I think I'm gonna do a brown lip. She had a brown lip in the video, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna use Nina and Truffle. Truffle Tease that's Maybelline, and it's like Max Hug Me, except literally a fraction of the price. So excuse me. I put Vaseline on, but since the beauty supply store is closed, I can't get a lot of the lip stuff that I get there, like my Carmex and everything. I am tripping. I am tripping. Like I want them to stay safe, so but I wish they had some sort of delivery service. I completely understand them being closed. So I just have to wait patiently. Because I know I can get Carmex other places, but there are certain things I just, out of habit, only will buy at the beauty supply store. And that's that. So then here comes Truffle Teas. Oh no! Look at that. Look at this dead skin. Anyway, I say that because that's the reason I brought up Carmex and everything, is because of me trying to work this situation out. The only problem now is I have to get rid of the blue that fell down on my face. That's ironic. In this movie, they're talking about how these people are holding these people hostage and they're trying to assassinate the president. And one of the people in this movie is Frank Sinatra, or at least it looks a lot like Frank Sinatra. And, you know, JFK. They say that he was part of the mob. And that's who actually got the president, because they were upset because they got him elected, but then he wouldn't do them any favors or something. But who knows? That's all just grandiose story. Anyone can pin anything on anyone when it's 50 years old. And honestly, depending on what year this movie came out, that's probably where the story came from. Like, people don't realize how much movies might affect their life. That's what I just found. The thing I was looking for. So it's white charcoal. That's the thing. It's a white charcoal mattifying spray. I'm just gonna spray it lightly on this dried up makeup remover that it was in the packet, but it's still dried up. And I'm just gonna use it to wipe my face down to get rid of some of the blue. All right, done. And finished. Renice's makeup, sans glitter, sans everything else, basically. It's just Renice Commando inspired. It's basically just blue sparkle and a bit of white in the waterline. Done. You can even take pictures when you're using this. Hmm. Mhm. Taking a picture. All right. Anyway, so why doesn't it let me chat? Unable to connect to chat. Oops. Let's see. Say. It worked. Whatever. So this is it. This is the makeup. I was gonna do something with the Tiana bundle, but I think maybe I'll say that for another day. That was the surprise. This ColourPop Tiana bundle I got months ago now. I feel like I got it during the summer. And I swatched it and stuff, but never really did anything. Here's the lip. And here is the pressed powder blush. It's got shimmer. As you can see, I've used it before, but just not on camera or anything. But I really like it. It was my first ColourPop purchase, actually, and I think they did Tiana really well. I like this blush. I really like the lips. That's the blush. I think it's really flattering. And then let me show you. Oops. And the picture is just so cute. The thing on the bag is kissing a frog, but that's not ColourPop's doing. That's Disney. And then here's the lipstick. It's Prince Naveen, which was the other frog in the movie. I really like the texture of this lipstick. It's kind of like something in between a liquid matte and a whipped mousse. And the color is like that. It's actually looking, no, that's about it. That's about the same color. Mm. So that's Prince Naveen. Anyway, I was going to do something with these, but we went the Bernice way on a whim. Down in New Orleans. I kind of wanted some other ones, but I knew for a fact I had to get Tiana first. And I don't even know if they sell these anymore. The whole concept is that all the princesses are going to a masquerade ball. So that's her little masquerade, which is perfect for her because in New Orleans. And it's also perfect for Belle because the French are the reason why people masquerade anywhere. In New Orleans, anyway. Masquerade parades seem to be a part of a lot of things. They're just very different. So, like, in Cameroon, it's not necessarily everyone wearing a mask. Is certain dancers wear the masks, and then you have them like parading around during the parade. But really, it's different. So this is it, and I think I'm gonna end my live here kind of abruptly, but not really abruptly because I was gonna do 2 looks, but I don't know. I think I'll do another live tomorrow, but this was my first live. I thought it would be fitting to do the first live on a day where I usually do an upload because people would, be expecting something to be on the channel. Hmm. So, thanks people for watching. You guys, yeah, this was enjoyable. It wasn't, I was a little nervous, but it was okay. I really want to do a second look, but I'm not going to. All right. So, bye. Thanks for watching. See you again. I might do another one tomorrow. I can see why people start doing lives. It's kind of really fun. Um, just the aspect of doing this live thing. But I do have to, I hope I can save this and uh, transcribe it or edit it or something. I don't know. All right. So, bye. 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 Woo-hoo. Yeah.